Welcome to Amalgam Hour, the movie and comic podcast. I'm Robin.
I'm Dan.
See, and we're back. Easiest intro ever. Today, you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the title. We're reviewing Loki. It's just come out, probably...
About a week ago.
Yeah.
We were delayed on this recording.
Yeah, a little bit. So, Dan, what's your first point? Dan's carrying.
My first point is it wasn't very good.
Like, you've suggested this to me slightly, that you don't like the episode, and that's all I've heard from you. Why?
I just think that it's not, on its own, it isn't a story. It's just set up. That's all it exists for. Yeah. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, I can't disagree, but I think that comes from you as well, because you're definitely not a fan of romance, and you don't generally care about like the characters' arcs throughout the thing, if you get what I mean.
You can sum up this show, yeah. There's 3 sections to the show, obviously. Episodes 1 and 2 get Loki through all his character development that he's had in the films post-Avengers. Yeah, pretty much. True. Episodes 3 and 4, love story. Episodes 5 and 6, here's the actual story.
That might be my biggest problem with the show, that it's not the Loki we know. And sometimes I always forget that fact until I don't. And then I'm like, oh, this isn't even... Like, I generally don't even care for Loki. But at least...
Or, like, if this show, you could have taken this whole season and made a longer season, and this season is just the first 3 episodes.
Microphone messed up then, sorry. Someone did suggest that it was the pandemic, so they had to shorten the season. Because, honestly, it literally just... exactly what you said. It feels like it should have been longer, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think I would have much preferred that.
Yeah,
you know,
an actual longer thing and actually getting the whole story.
We're talking about very small points. We'll go to broader strokes in a minute. But, so episode 3, whichever one where they were both stuck on that planet.
Right, episode 3, that was the most filler episode I've seen in my life.
Which I didn't mind because I like the Sylvie actress. Like, I don't think in some of
she's on good.
She's not great. But I
think she's a good character, but...
Yeah. Like, but we haven't... Nothing's been explained about her. Pretty much.
No.
And that's the one...
Just, look, she was a female Loki, that's why she got plucked out of the timeline.
And that's one of the problems that I have...
That's all I got from the whole thing.
Yeah. That's one of the problems I have with all the Disney shows. You don't explain shit enough. You know? The bad guys from Falcon and Winter Solider. It's like...
Yeah.
Well, okay... You keep saying that the world was a better place during the blip. Can you show it to me? Can you tell me how it was different? Okay, Agatha Harkness, who are you? The guy who was the bad guy in Sword, what's your motive? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, what's the other?
I get Sylvie's motive in this.
Yeah, I get it.
I can get that.
It's mostly just petty revenge. But I want to know why. Why she was taken. Like, what was the... Because she clearly knows everyone at the TVA. What's the experience... Yeah. What's more of the experience that she's had with them? If you get what I mean.
It's just that one woman. Like, she didn't even have a problem escaping. She just kicked her in the shin.
I know. I was like, that's pathetic.
Like... You're meant to be this big time organisation protecting the timeline, and she just kicked her in the shin and got away.
I would have loved it if it was enchantment. The first time the TVA
she enchanted her.
Experienced enchantment. It was just boom.
Yeah, but her power wouldn't work in the actual...
That's true. But maybe they don't then. Maybe they never get her to the TVA place. They do.
Yeah.
And then she does the whole thing where it's like, no, I can help you. They take her on one mission. She instantly enchants the main woman, and that's the reason she won't let Owen Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
See, I just came up with a better, 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah, because all the TVA agents are variants, so they could just be they tried to make her one of them.
That's a problem as well. They mention that once and then forget about it.
Owen Wilson goes off to deal with it, but then he's barely in the finale.
But then, okay, so we know Owen Wilson's character likes jet skis. So can we get a flashback to his past? Can you show us?
Yeah, he's just Owen Wilson.
Character? The only person we see before they are a TV agent is the main bad guy. Main woman, female bad guy.
Yeah, and you see one of the random agents.
Yeah, but I'm just...
It's on a date with Sylvie.
Yeah. But I would have loved that more. Got in.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the point of it being a 2-season thing. This was definitely that fight with classic Loki. That's definitely a climax thing, or that is a secondary. That's a mid-season climax. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You could shorten the first 3. If you get what I mean.
First 3 can definitely be reduced. I did like the first one with Loki seeing his life.
Definitely.
I liked Loki seeing his life, but then that shouldn't have been the longest episode of the series.
Yeah, it's true. And then the third episode I liked it just because of the character dispositions in it and stuff. But
yeah,
that could have been shorter, and like we've always said, when we even talk about this with comics, where it's you could have just put this comic in another one and it wouldn't have mattered at all. If you get what I mean.
Even wrap that story up in that episode.
No.
It went on to the next one.
Exactly. And it's just Deus Ex Machina, they come and get you at the very last second.
And it doesn't even make sense, because it's meant to be this place is a destruction. It's an extinction level event.
No,
which we've been told
because they were gonna
can't
kiss.
disrupt the timeline no matter what you do.
They were gonna kiss.
So how do they cause a Nexus event?
They were gonna kiss. Which I would be okay with that. Their
He's still
kiss.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, their kiss is the reason that causes a Nexus level event, sort of thing. If it was fleshed out
but
more, if it was
it's already established that can't happen because they're in
But I would have been okay if it was 2 of the exact same person variants are coming together, and that is the closer their souls, in quotations, combine together, that causes a fracture in time or fracture in the multiverse. Not just they went to kiss and that meant, and no one's ever seen that, therefore, do you get what I mean?
Yeah. And then pretty much I feel they accidentally wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I still think this is my favourite MCU relationship, other than I think I like Pepper and Tony, but that's just because of how Robert Downey Jr. plays him, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Because
I never really liked Pepper and Tony, but I think that's just because I didn't like Pepper that much.
I don't like the woman who plays Pepper, but sometimes she does say funny stuff, talking to Tony, when they.
I didn't really get on board with their relationship until Endgame.
Yeah. This isn't the.
But this isn't the relationship program.
Yeah, but at least they had chemistry, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I think that carried most of the show. And I love how everyone was talking about Owen Wilson and Thing had such great connection. Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston, yeah.
And I just think I don't like Owen Wilson very much. Because I was just
Owen Wilson, he had so much potential at the start of last show.
Yeah.
And then they just he was in episode 3.
Yeah.
Barely. He was a main character in 1 and 2, and then he's barely in the rest of the show.
Yeah. I wish he was in a lot more episodes. When they discover classic Loki and Kid Loki and President Loki, why can't Owen Wilson be there? You know?
No, he shows up near the end.
Yeah, he shows up, but it's no.
Because I liked your idea when we watched when that episode came out of the fact they're talking about Lokis are the only ones that can survive. Is Owen Wilson, Loki variant because he survived.
And then that
would have been a good reveal.
Yeah, and that would have fitted into why she's not trusting him with a Loki, because Loki would be one. And Loki would be the only one to discover that he's a Loki. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would work.
It'd be a nice reveal at the end, but no, we don't really get anything with him. We didn't get to see him on a jet ski.
Yeah, and it'd be like, oh, why does he like jet skis so much? Because, I don't know, because whatever.
Odin got him one. And that's why he ended up as a variant.
You could say he's like party bro Loki. Where he was like, no, he like peaked in college, and if you get what I mean, and now he's just lived on a beach because his, like, I don't know. He's a Loki variant, and he's only there because Odin actually cared about him. Or he's a Loki variant who was dropped off on Earth at a young age, so Odin didn't keep him and didn't raise him. He got sent away. Yeah, so he's Loki in name only. If you get what I mean. Yeah. And then he just lived on a beach. But no, we don't get any explanation for anything. No, we get a nice teaser at the end for a better season. Yes, which I can't wait for. But okay, so Loki, what's his name? Owen Wilson's character, Mobius. Mobius. Yeah, I liked his energy that he gave most of the time, and that's pretty much the only reason I like him. If you get what I mean. Because his character wasn't explored much aside from his relationship with Loki, which I get, but like. But then, like, at the end, when Loki gives him a hug, like, oh, you're a great friend, I'm like, I haven't seen this. I'm like, it's like barely. You're better friends with Tony Stark than Mobius. I had one conversation with that guy. Yeah, it's just like, that's the problem I have with these Disney Plus shows. They don't explore anything. It's like you have a show, you have a longer runtime to explore stuff, and they always half-assed it. I do like that this show has done yet again what the other two have done, and I'm now actually caring about the main character. Yeah, that's true. Oh, do you know? I didn't care about Loki. This reminds me of like the whole Wanda thing, where it's like most of the season was literally fun sitcom, and then my big problem, which we discussed in our review, was that they should have gone more in depth with her trauma and the love of her family. Yeah. Like, if you're gonna have a theme, like, I don't know what the theme is for this show. Do you know what I mean? Like, Wanda's is obviously. I don't know. Yeah, Wanda's is about grief and love, and I think Wanda's is overcoming control. If you know what I mean, because she's both controlling people, she is being controlled by Agatha. She's getting over the control of like Strucker and all those people. Yeah, and then I don't know, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I guess that's just about becoming your own. Yeah. Probably, but then this one, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know if I missed something like very important, or if I'm just stupid. But because I don't feel like there is one. I've seen like loads of things like this show is the best one, and I'm just not seeing it. I don't think it is. To be honest, I think all of these shows so far have been pretty mid-tier. They've been like entertaining. MCU stuff. Yeah, it's been entertaining, like, no doubt about that, but they're still all mid for me. Yeah. Whereas, like, I would still rather watch, like, Captain America Winter Soldier than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Not saying I dislike that show. Go watch our review to see what my opinions are. But we actually gave that one a positive review. Yes. Because it's still good, and then... Yeah. Thing is, the shows was like, we can be experimental in them, but you're not being experimental in the good ways. If you know what I mean. You're being experimental, but you're not going all out. You're still drawing back on that safety measure. Yeah, like the sitcom stuff, sure, that's experimental. If it was all sitcom, then it would have worked. But this 50-50 hybrid, like, I would have loved Wandavision to be sitcom the entire time, and you have
Yeah.
to infer everything else. Do you get what
I'd
I
have
mean?
preferred WandaVision if Agatha Harkness wasn't the villain and it was Wanda.
Yeah, they never explore that enough, and I think that is a
Because it's
problem.
like,
Yeah.
it's like, I think they're doing the same in this one as well. With like, even like in this one, the main character is a villain.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? They don't explore the TVA being a villain enough. It's like, oh, yes,
No.
they are bad now. Owen Wilson, go and take them down. If you get what I mean.
And then Owen Wilson has a brief, he's like, I'm going to burn it to the ground. And then the next episode is just a small conversation with a woman.
Yeah, and I'm like, ugh.
And then she buggers off God knows where.
Yeah. Just exploring these intricate, like, plans.
Organisations
and yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff you set up, you need to explain.
They've done the same
more
here as well. With the leader, is WandaVision and Sword. The WandaVision with Sword and Loki with the TVA. Both big organisations. Definitely corrupt because the leaders are meant to be bad guys in the shows.
Yeah.
But then they just dip
Ugh.
midway through. They just
And it's
got.
like, I think that's going to be a key thing in a lot of these shows where we have two villains. Because Falcon and Winter Soldier, US Agent, and that other group. Can't remember their name.
Oh, the Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers, that's it. And then Agatha Harkness and technically Wanda in WandaVision.
Yeah, but then it's pretty much Sword.
Yeah, so that main guy, sorry. And then this show is the main TVA woman and, spoilers, Kang at the very end. Which is like...
Yeah.
We'll talk about Kang in a minute. But, okay.
Also, one thing I'll talk about now, what was on villain's side.
Yeah.
Sylvie at the start was meant to be a villain, right? We've had the first two episodes very much pushing her as a villain.
Yeah.
Why at the end is Owen Wilson such good friends with her, even though she has definitely murdered
a
load of his friends from the TVA?
Yeah, and it's like...
It's like, this woman has like killed your friends and like broken one person mentally, and you're just fine with it.
Yeah, that's why I would have liked to see their relationship more, or at least that episode where it was just them on a planet. It's a relentless, she's evil, he's trying to persuade her to be good, just the entire time.
Yeah.
And then that would add to the end fight, when she wants to do evil and he wants to do good. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. The end fight between those two, I just see that as Loki sat there and he has this want to be trusted because nobody's ever trusted him.
Yeah.
And she wants to trust him, but doesn't know how to trust because of her life.
Which, maybe just...
Like, that's how I saw that.
Yeah, maybe trust
then, like,
is the overall theme, because Owen Wilson has to trust in them and he shouldn't be trusting in the TVA. But then Kang doesn't add to that theme at all, other than the question of kill me or take over, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the one thing I do like about the ending, though. If you notice, Loki doesn't choose. He doesn't say, let's kill him or let's leave him be. He just wants to stop. He wants Sylvie to stop and think about it for a second. That's all he wants.
Yeah, he just wants to be with Sylvie. Like, I think he would take the option where he just gets to go and live his life with her.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, just goes to go back to the main thing and leaves Kang there to be, like, go about his business.
Which I think the perfect thing was, the perfect ending would have been the multiverse explodes, there are no Kangs, we don't kill this Kang, and me and Sylvie walk off together into the sunset. But I like how, no, you can only ever get half of that. You can be together and you rule the TVA, or you kill me stopping the TVA. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah.
I find it an interesting...
They were put in a difficult situation, but you didn't need a 40-minute conversation to explain it.
Oh my god. And I've heard people complain a lot about how not the actor, but the character goes on for so long talking. Like, Kang. And I think I ignored that because of how much fun I was having. But
but that's because
I think that's me problem.
the character and the actor are like having a great time. It looks like.
Yeah, which I'm like, those are some of my favourite villains. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, to everyone else who doesn't truly care about that, I understand why people were like clawing their face off when he was just talking over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Which I find.
I was waiting for something to happen, and the fact that there wasn't any fighting in this series really at all.
Not really.
Like, there was a couple scenes with Sylvie killing TVA agents.
Yeah, it was always between nameless TVA agents. Nameless, obviously not nameless Lokis, but Lokis we don't give a shit about.
I think that's why episode 5 is my favourite, because it's the most fast-paced going episode.
Yeah. I would have loved this show to be more fast-paced. Not in like, it's like a Michael Bay movie fast-paced, but in like everything's happening all at the same time, but we still explore those matters. If you get what I mean?
Yeah. Every time the show goes to pick up the pace, it slows itself way back down.
Yeah.
Which could be fine if it was done right.
Yeah. Because, what was I going to say? Like, obviously, Falcon and Winter Soldier had loads of fights, which is good. That fits within the genre. Wandavision has one at the very end, I guess.
Wandavision's all at the end, all the fighting.
Which I'm like, with that show, I wish they didn't fight at all. If you get what I mean. Yeah. Where it's like, no.
But this show, you have to because of what you're going for.
Yeah. It's like choose which one you want to be. Do you want to be really talky, or do you want to be action heavy? Because they do have action scenes. Yeah. But then it's like, decide, please, before I lose my mind.
The best action scene in this show is between the two of the most minor characters for the show going, with like classic Loki and the big mist monster.
Yeah, classic Loki is my favourite character.
And that was just these two characters you just put in one episode and they're done, and they just stole the spotlight immediately.
Yeah, just because
like that fight
was a cool design, and classic Loki had motive. He had motive. He instantly came out with a good scene. He was badass. He was played by motherfucking Richard E. Grant, so you know he's going to be good at acting. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, can we add this like character to like the characters I'm meant to be caring about?
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
His motivation of he survived Thanos and then tried to go back to his brother to go back and be good, and the whole thing with Loki can never change because when Loki changes, the TVA comes and takes him out.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea. Loki can never change until the moment before he dies.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, show. I wish you stuck to one thing. Do you want to show off all these Lokis, or do you want to have whatever else? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, all the advertising for this show was, look, we're having all these Loki variants.
Yeah,
that was one episode.
The relationship between Sylvie and
nothing about those
Loki,
two.
Nothing about the multiverse. Well, obviously the multiverse being introduced because of all the Lokis, but not showing how that's the plot point. Do you know what I mean?
It was focused on the trailers and all the advertising focused on Loki and Mobius.
Yeah,
and even leading up to it, like when like Falcon and Winter Soldier started advertising, you had like in the advertising you had Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, like they're the duo for that show. Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, they're the duo, and for this one it was meant to be Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, but he's not.
But they didn't do that.
He's barely in like 3 episodes. The one on the planet, the very end one, and the one with all the different Lokis. Sure, he's in them for like minutes.
And yeah. There's no screen time, and then he's not even in one of them.
Yeah. It's just most of these shows to me are just becoming disappointing, which doesn't bode well for the shows I'm actually excited for, like She-Hulk, Moon Knight.
I'm hoping they're gonna learn.
Yeah, because these were all
They were all made before even the
Wanda
WandaVision was released.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I get.
And they couldn't have made, like, to Loki and Falcon Winter Solider, they couldn't have made these, like, big story changes.
Yeah.
Right at the last second.
I get that.
But
I'm also like, oh.
It's like, you got Hawkeye coming up and Miss Marvel. They were filming when WandaVision was released.
Yeah.
So if you thought that was a good payoff with a boner joke, learn your lesson.
Yeah. Quickly, before Moon Knight comes around and I have a mild panic attack.
This show did do a good payoff with Kang.
Yeah.
Give him that. But it wasn't meant to be Kang when they were filming. It was just meant to be He Who Remains. He wasn't cast as Kang in this moment.
Yeah. They just decided to, like...
You decided to give him the role of Kang because of his performance. But you weren't... when you were making the show, you didn't think, oh, let's do Kang, this will be sick.
Yeah. And with these shows, it's like, do you want to add to... Like, do you want to add all these new characters? Like, Kang and Agatha, and for new things, which I get.
Yeah.
Or do you want to explore the present characters? And I know you can do both, but you're really not anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We'll talk about introducing good characters when you see our Black Widow review.
Yeah.
Because that's done right.
Yeah.
But this time, it's like... Marvel has stuck themselves in a corner right now because the whole time in the Infinity Saga, they put so much focus on their big three.
Yeah. Yeah,
they didn't focus much on making us care about these side characters.
Yeah.
It's like, you're doing a good job of making me care about all these characters now.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see them again, but I'm not excited as excited to see Falcon come back as I was when I found out, like, Chris Evans' Captain America was going to be in a film.
Yeah. That's true. One of the
Robert Downey Jr. is going to be there.
Yeah. One of the main problems I have now is the MCU is both trying to cater to the people who know nothing about comics and the people who know everything. And it's almost like, no, the people who know comics, they'll pick up the slack for us. And they'll explain to everyone who the fuck He Who Remains is. Do you know what I mean?
They never mentioned Kang. All they say is he's a conqueror. That's what he's been dubbed by, named up. Because me and you know Kang, we're like, oh, that's Kang. That's obvious. They've just confirmed it. Like,
easy.
I had to explain that to other people.
Yeah.
Because they were like, who's this guy?
Yeah, which I totally get. And it's like, no, but they've put subtle hints in, such as one of the Time Lordy people. One of them looks like Kang, and there's an Egyptian sculpture in the background. And Alioth in the comics has a relationship with Kang, and so does the main TVA woman. Okay, I get that, but can you actually hint towards Kang?
Yeah.
Not just...
All they got with this
Easter
is
eggs.
they confirmed the actor was playing Kang.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most people probably have heard of that because they did do it in their big announcement panel.
Yeah.
But
literally,
like
the last bit, I get setting up a new villain. I get that, and you're doing it the way you did Thanos. Like, he appears in one thing, and he's going to be appearing in one after another thing until we probably get a big climax of what you're planning on doing.
Yeah.
But you did Thanos well, because he appeared for 2 seconds. You went, wait, who the hell is that? And then he appeared more, and he appeared more, and more.
Yeah, it was like
more.
At the end of the Avengers, he turned his face like, oh my god, comic fans lost their mind.
That. Yeah. Most
normal audience were like, who's this? This is really interesting. Who's this character?
Yeah. But
why is this a tease at the end? This must be important.
Yeah. But with this show, it was like they forgot that they were also making a show.
That's because Kevin Feige said himself they treat them like long movies, which isn't a good idea.
I get that.
I get it. That's how Kevin Feige knows that. He doesn't know TV shows, he knows movies.
Thanos in the first Avengers was barely a plot point. He was the reason Loki was doing his stuff, but Loki had his own motive.
And they had this other character there to be the talking point between them.
the main problem with this show is the main villain is Kang. And we don't see him until 40 minutes till the end. And
I was expecting...
Agatha was the same, but we had her through the entire season. She was in plain sight. She was Agnes, but she was there. Yeah.
And when you revealed she was Agatha, you still had 2 episodes to work with.
Yeah. And it's like...
Kang was like, oh my god, who's in the castle? Who could it be?
Yeah.
Now it's He Who Remains. It's not Kang, because they haven't told us that.
I wish they introduced Kang when they went to the Time Lord thing and chopped off the head. And they went, oh, robot, and then we heard a slow clap.
And then Kang the Conqueror walked
around the corner. And he's...
I know what we got in Loki isn't meant to be Kang. Was it Immortus?
Yeah.
Like the good version of him.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just say that name?
Yeah, just say a name. And
when they're like, who are you? And he's like, I've been dubbed many names. And he says, I'm actually Immortus.
So I'm like, say one then.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you didn't say any
I've
names.
been dubbed. He's like, I can't grow a ruler. He Who Remains. What's your actual name, mate?
Yeah, those aren't names. Those are titles.
Yeah.
Give me a name. Please. And I'm like, that's funny, but... That would... Okay. Because most of these reviews always become how to make this better. Which we'll do again.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, Kang walks around the corner and or Miss Minute appears. She gives a little dialogue.
Like she did in the finale.
Yeah, and then the hologram starts to crack, and then boom, Immortus in front of them, and he starts clapping, and he's like his usual like jovial self.
Yeah.
And he's like simply explains what the TVA is. Boom. You learn that the main woman has known this the entire time, makes her more evil.
Yeah, because that's what I didn't like, is that she didn't know either.
Yeah, she didn't have a didgeridoo. She didn't.
Which I don't think was good.
No. And I'm like, okay, so both of the characters knows, and now it's TVA and Kang versus the Lokis.
Yeah.
And then it's like he sets the entirety of the TVA on them, and they start going through time and stuff, you know? Give us an actual fun episode of them.
You promised us a time travel show. You didn't go very much.
Yeah. And you know what would be sick? They're being chased by the TVA. The TVA have one of those things that open the door, and so does Sylvie. Like, she steals the main woman's, whatever. And they're running through, and you see, like, they go past the Battle of New York. Do you get what I mean? They slide past a bunch of watchers. They do all that sort of stuff.
If they went through the Battle of New York, you could have even just had, like, a scene where they fall in the middle of the battle, and they're fighting, like, some TVA agents, and even like the Hulk just comes through and punches a couple.
Yeah, just
because he's in the fight.
Just give us some.
You don't even need Mark Ruffalo there. You just edit it in. He punches one guy, and then boom, they've gone to a different time.
Show the face, or like a ship. It cuts to like a scene from the Avengers where Hulk throws something, and then we see where that thing hit. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like a normal scene in the Avengers, like where he grabbed like one of the guys and just launched him.
Which that's fun, and then it's like at the very end of that, it's like huge, epic, like practically a fight scene for a while.
Yeah.
But it's making Sylvie be a part of this team, and Owen Wilson is with them the entire time. So it's like you don't prune him, so he's missing for an episode, just so you can have Owen Wilson's here to save the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he shows up in a car.
Yeah.
Ooh, that should have been Lightning McQueen, but. Yeah.
And then Sylvie's about to get pruned. Loki jumps in front, adding to their relationship sort of thing. There's like, and then Sylvie goes through and she confronts the main TVA woman, and then she learns that it's actually a teleporter to a void or whatever, and then she does it to herself. Boom. And then they figure out that behind Goliath is the true face of Immortus. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Did Sylvie ever actually find out that it was just a void?
What do you mean?
Or did she just like stab herself for no reason?
She
jumped up and like hit herself with it.
Yeah, I think it was literally that was the only way she thought of getting out. And
Yeah.
maybe she learned, I can't remember, but it's like...
I don't think she did. Because,
make it obvious. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no, I think she mentioned that it sends them to the end of time.
Yeah, which, like, sure.
But, like, she said stuff that can't be destroyed gets sent to the end of time.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Apparently is just everything.
Yeah, like a whole boat, a whole, like,
yeah,
crew and everything.
Which is fun to see, but...
Yeah, it's not.
Literally, Kang needed to be in there more.
He either needed to be in there more, or a post-credit scene reveal at the end.
Yeah, like they never even mention him. They just, yeah. Like the main bad guy for this season is just the TVA, and that's all we're getting.
It would have been like sick if if you wanted to do season 1 with them finding Kang, the finale was episode 5, and the post-credit scene is Kang.
Yeah. This show could have been great with some of the stuff that they did, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, just not. And that's the problem I have with most of these shows, where it's like, you could have been good, but you weren't, and that sucks. I feel sorry for you, show, but doesn't matter.
But they're doing a season 2.
Yeah. Main problem: have a theme, explore Sylvie more, explore the side characters more, explore both of the main bad guys, both the TVA and Kang, and have Kang turn up in it more. You do that, you would have a good show. Do you know what I mean? If the third episode where they're on the planet, or whatever episode it was, if that explained Sylvie, people would be fine with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it
even the episode description for episode 3 says Loki's trying to find out. Loki finds out Sylvie's motivation.
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah.
What about me watching the show? Can I find that out?
Oh, do you know what would be fun if they did it so it was like they find where Kang is because of the apocalypse thing. Whereas I know Kang is ending like hiding in an apocalypse, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But no.
He's hiding at the end. Crap.
I really wanted to. I wanted to like all of these shows, and I'm so happy like Kang did turn up, because it was the funnest part of the show. But it shouldn't have been.
No, it really shouldn't have been. It should have been.
The build-up should be the best part, and I just like Kang.
I don't know about you, but to me, this is the worst show.
I don't know, just because I don't think I'll ever be able to watch Wandavision over again. If you get what I mean. I
can confirm, after every one of these shows finishes, I have rewatched them the day after. I've rewatched it all, yeah?
Yeah.
Done it with WandaVision, fine, got through it. It was a bit of a struggle at the start, but I got through it. Done it with Falcon and Winter Solider, enjoyed it all again.
Yeah. That's
Loki, I've watched episode 1, and I can't find the motivation to go in and watch episode 2 because
Falcon and Winter Soldier is the easiest one to go back and rewatch, and I know it will be. Like, I'm not going to do it anytime soon, but like that's the one. But this one, I think the only thing I'll rewatch is that last bit with Kang, just because I like the actor so much.
Yeah.
And I think
the problem with rewatchability of the show is it's all just sitting and talking.
Which I get if it was intrigue. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
If there was interesting points being added, and there's like subtlety to these characters, and strong motives and that sort of stuff. But there just isn't.
It's great on a first watch.
Yeah.
But then something with the MCU to keep something good and people wanted to watch it is something has to be rewatchable and still be fun. And
I know this review has been really ranty and all over the place, but that's just what this show is, so don't blame us.
This show, Loki's all over the place. Leave me alone.
We're mimicking the show.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here, I swear.
we're also doing what they did with forgetting whole plot points, like the timeline being broken. What happened there?
Yeah, and it's like Sylvie broke the timeline. Did they fix it? Did you tell us to fix it?
No, they went to this different planet, and then when they created the next event in episode 4, you see the time stream, and it's just fixed. It's fine.
Yeah. Which it would have been fun if it's like, why was Owen Wilson able to take down or sneak in? Because everyone's frantically putting it back in place, and it's like, Kang has to come out of hiding at that point because of the thing is fucked. And then he puts it back together, and Sylvie's like, no. Like, and then he's like, you could break it again, but you have to do this. Oh, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they hyped it up at the end of episode 2, like, oh, she's broken the timeline.
Yeah, but
and like she's really broken it because she's put in these things that just destroy the area and just send everything there. Either destroys it or sends it to the end of time.
Yeah, but nothing came from
So I'm assuming that means that is significantly more difficult to fix than just somebody accidentally walking the wrong way.
But no, doesn't matter. Never explained.
It's just fixed, sorted, no problems. And then they do it again in the finale. Boom, the timeline's broken. Yes, it's more broken than it was.
Yeah, and that's like that's the climax. So yeah, the timeline breaking, that's what...
It's more broken than it was. And I'm assuming that's the reason What If exists.
Yeah, probably, because now from the trailer we've learned that there's an actual like story to like the entire show, not just... Yeah,
which I think is What If had hardly any advertising until Loki finished.
Yeah, which I get, but it's also like...
Because
I want What If to just be random, whatever the hell. I don't want it to be tied into your universe just because Kevin Feige wants it to be. You know, because that's what it is. Kevin Feige came up with this idea, or someone did on his staff team. And now they just add, because that adds to the universe more. But it's like, that's not what If is. What If has never added to the universe.
They had to do an explanation to how it could exist.
Yeah.
But...
Oh... Yeah, I'm
I would have personally done What If as just...
Yeah,
its own thing. It's not canon.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to have to end this review soon with just both of us just being depressed.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm not going to go back and rewatch this whole show.
I may in a few years.
Yeah.
When I've forgotten about the show.
I may when I'm 92.
When I can't remember whether I liked it or not, so I rewatch it and realise, oh wait, I remember now.
You don't need to go and do that. Just rewatch this episode.
I'll put a comment on this. I'll comment on this video to remind myself that I don't like this show.
Yeah, Daniel of the future. Don't watch it again. I'll put it in the description for you. Don't worry, Dan.
Yeah, thanks.
Any more points?
What characters we've got? The Hunter B-15 woman. What happened with her?
Like, and I'm okay with her being very much a side character, and I do like the path she has where she's against Loki, and then she helps in the end thing of introducing like a bunch of the TVA agents to the woman. But then nothing comes from that, because the TVA doesn't get involved against Kang, and then the next time you see her, it's a different multiverse version of Kang, or of herself.
The TVA,
so nothing comes from that.
No.
The TVA never gets involved with the Kang fight. They never go up against a liar, so they never overrule the main woman. So it's just like...
Yeah. I'm assuming the timeline that we are in now with the TVA, as of the end, is one where one of the other Kangs from the multiverse either creates the TVA or wins the multiverse war that they were on about, which I would like to see, by the way.
Well, I'm okay with it just being what it is, just because I'm like, you couldn't get a show or anything out of that, you know? But it
would have been a much better show than this.
Do you know what? It could have been it could be really fun, if it's a whatever show, we call it Multiverse Future or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Just Future Imperfect. There you go.
Boom.
and you mix in a bunch of ideas. So it's a multiverse war between all the Kangs and stuff, set on a planet with the Maestro, Spider-Man 2099, all the future characters, because you know you're not going to play with them a lot. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Just do that. That would be fun to watch. I'd watch the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Not whatever this show is.
I hope they don't do this now and the next Avengers film is like Avengers Multiverse War or something.
Well,
or that's like the next Endgame.
Everyone keeps saying it's going to be Secret Wars, where it's like, oh, the multiverse is collapsing in on itself, so we all need to merge it into one.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't need to do
That's
that.
just Crisis on Infinite Earths.
They did that in Marvel because they wanted the ultimate characters into the regular 616 universe.
Yeah.
Like,
Watch them, they're doing this whole multiverse story and combining the things because Robert Downey Jr. wants back.
I'm just like...
It's like...
Literally, only thing I'm excited for is Moon Knight. Not gonna lie. I only care about Moon Knight at this point.
That's only because you like the character.
Exactly.
Nothing that's come from it.
Not because this show's good. Or like, I know it's going to be at least decent, but that's not what I want. I want more than that. I want to have my boy, like, looked after. You know?
Yeah. The problem what they're doing now at the moment is you're not getting, like... Every phase has that moment where you're like, this is the best thing that Marvel has done. Which, obviously, some people think Loki's the best thing they've done. If you do, too bad, you're wrong.
I know what the title of this episode is going to be. Worst Disney Plus show ever? Question mark.
It's not a question mark. It's right. It's a fact.
It's a fact. It's a statement. Yeah, go on. Carry on, Dan.
But it's like, phase 1, I can't think of an example right off the top of my head. But what is the movie in that where you're like, this thing is sick?
I can't remember what phase 1 is included in.
Iron Man to the Avengers.
Oh, the Avengers.
Okay, here you go. Phase 2, quite early on, you got Winter Soldier, which is my favourite. It's a lot of people's favourite. It's a good film. Yeah. That's what people like. This is amazing. Phase 3, you kicked it off with one of the best with Civil War.
Yeah, which I'm like...
Phase 4, so far you're giving me 4 projects, which is almost the full length of what Phase 1 and 2 were.
Yeah, and it's like...
And they're all just mediocre, average things.
Do you know what I'm so scared for? The past 3 shows we had haven't introduced characters, except from villains. US Agent, Agatha Harkness, whatever.
Bad Monica Rambeau. Oh no, she wasn't introduced, that was already a character.
Yeah, well, she was introduced.
You introduced her as an adult.
And that's the thing, she was practically the main character in that.
Until she did.
Half of the show was Wanda, half of the show was Monica, until she did. I'm so scared when they have to introduce main characters, like Moon Knight and like everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll see what happens with Shang-Chi, because that's the next one. That's actually going to introduce a brand new character.
Yeah, because they haven't.
So we'll see what happens there. That's September, and that is the first time since Captain Marvel. Yeah. Now, it's going to be the first time we get something that is a brand new character with nothing well, we're going to have existing characters in it, but he's not.
Yeah.
And last time they did it, they flopped miserably.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to end this review here by just saying, Loki, wish you were good, you're not, mate. But I love Kang. So there you go. Because otherwise this is just going to be us ranting about this show even more.
Yeah.
I do like points in it, but looking at it as an overall, I'm like, ugh. This sucks.
Yeah.
You know, so tell us what you think about Loki, I guess. And if... I want to know what...
And if our opinion... If we are really wrong...
Yeah. Because I don't mind this show. Because I'm used to the other ones not being as good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I enjoyed Falcon Winter Soldier.
Like, I enjoyed it too.
But Falcon Winter Soldier is more of what I prefer from the MCU.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to watch...
This had to convince me
Yeah.
that this new approach was good,
Yeah.
and it hasn't.
When I say that, it's like, I say, because I don't want to watch Marvel stuff anymore. Like, I don't care about it, other than seeing what they do. If you go on.
Yeah. I'm excited for this show has made me excited for what's coming next.
Yeah.
Because you've broken the multiverse.
Yeah.
You've opened that up.
And
so that could be exciting. And this is why one of the things I'm most excited for anyway is the multiverse of madness, and it has been since they announced things.
Yeah. Okay, before we rant even more, this podcast over, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So
Loki, not good.
It's going to be fun because at the end of the year we're going to rank all the Disney Plus shows that come out, and I'd love
F tier right now.
I'll love to see, because I'm not going to rewatch them.
Love to see what our opinions have changed over time.
Yeah. So there you go. So subscribe for that video when that comes out.
We didn't even mention anything good.
Well, I like time. That's it. And I've said it multiple times. That's all the audience needs to hear. This was our 51-minute rant about the Loki show and how we wished it was good. Thank you for listening.